Hey, it's Cesar with the Food52 Test Kitchen, and today I have a little twist on a summer classic. Today we're making burnt honey baked beans. I took a few creative liberties with this batch of baked beans. I did burnt honey instead of the typical molasses, black-eyed peas instead of navy beans, and a few other twists along the way. Let me show you how to make it. I like to start with like a nice nub of butter. I like to do a combination of honey and butter. I feel like the butter, when it browns a little bit, adds that toastiness, extra dimension to your burnt honey. So it's all gonna work out. So my butter is just melted. Here I have our jug of honey. Great little tip, whatever you're measuring into, just hit it with like a little cooking spray. Oil it down. And then your honey should just slide right out. There we go. With a rubber spatula, I like to just make sure things are moving. So the reason I like to burn my honey rather than just using it straight up, burnt honey has a really nice smokiness to it, nice complexity. In sweetness, it doesn't just taste sweet. Right now, it's foaming up a little bit just because that butter has water. There's moisture in the butter. So what's happening now, the water is evaporating. And once it does go away, that's when the magic happens. As our honey's finishing up, I'm just heating up a large cast iron skillet over medium-high heat. All right, honey is darkening a little bit. Keeping an eye on her. You just want to get the honey to like a nice amber color. Not too dark. You do want to be careful you don't burn the honey. I mean, you want to be careful you don't over burn your honey. You don't want to char your honey. But again, you could use molasses, you could use brown sugar, you could use date syrup, that'd be really nice. I think just anything besides white sugar, because white sugar is just gonna be sweet. Like it's not really gonna have much else going for it. Getting a little darker, keep an eye on it. Here I have diced parsnips, onion, and celery. So this is my mirepoix. You could also use carrots, of course. I really like the flavor of parsnips. I think they're better than carrots. That's just me. So into our hot oil, along with a few bay leaves. Nice pinch of salt. Got our black pepper. Yeah, I feel like this is just like, I don't want to say it's a lighter take on baked beans. It feels a little fresher to me. I also like a good amount of veg in a baked bean. I like when I see little bits of carrot, little bits of onion. If you want to just do straight up beans, sure. Okay, we're almost there with our honey, and you can smell, the smell is starting to change. You do want to be very careful with this. This is so hot. If this gets on you, you're not going to be happy. So usually for a mirepoix, I would say, oh, you don't really want much color. I do want color here. I want this to caramelize, so I'm gonna lay it out. I'm just gonna leave it alone for a little bit. I really want the natural sugars from the parsnip and the onion to come through. So I'm just gonna flatten it out. Leave it alone for a few minutes. Yeah, I feel like baked beans, we kind of limit ourselves to thinking of it as just really barbecue-y, really super sweet, and just something you really like serve on top of a hot dog or like alongside of a barbecue situation, which is great. And I would also love for you to serve this on top of your hot dog or on the side of your barbecue situation. But I just feel like it's a little more versatile than that. And this really could be like a weeknight side. It doesn't have to just be an outdoor summer thing. I mean, to me, this is definitely summer, but you can play with it throughout the year. Just when you think it's about to be done, like it's almost done, stop. Because the residual heat is gonna finish it off. If you stop when you determine it's done, you're most likely gonna end up with burnt honey. Charred burnt honey. I'm using a smoked turkey leg. You can also use a ham hock, bacon, guanciale, any smoky, salty meat. Again, if you don't eat pork, this is a great alternative. And if you don't eat meat, use mushrooms. Just gonna tear it off the bone. And you don't want the skin. It's kind of papery. But the meat itself, as you can see, very ham-like. And the thing about baked beans, I don't want too much meat in it. I want the bean to be the star, or in this case, the black-eyed pea to be the star. But when I do get a piece of meat, I want to know it's there. If you can't find smoked turkey leg, it can be a smoked turkey wing. I feel like they also sell turkey necks. Turkey neck would be very good in this. Okay, so we have a good amount of color on our veg. Our smoked turkey's in. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna make a little space in the middle. I'm gonna add our tomato paste. You always wanna cook down your tomato paste a little bit. Just makes it sweeter, really enhances that tomato flavor, makes it much deeper. I'll have some red pepper flakes for a little heat, optional, but I recommend it. Also have some bouillon paste, chicken. You can use regular bouillon or you can use chicken stock or turkey stock. This is just such an easy like flavor bomb. I always have this in my pantry, in my fridge. All right, now I'm gonna go in with my garlic. Always do my garlic last. I don't want it to burn. If you feel like your pan's a little dry, just a little extra oil. Now I'm gonna go in with my rinsed and drained black-eyed peas. And just enough water to fill it by about an inch. You can totally finish this on the stove if you don't feel like turning on your oven, it's too hot out. You can, of course, bring this outside, put it on the grill, keep an eye on it. We're gonna finish this with lemon after it's out of the oven, but I do wanna use that zest. Just gonna brighten it up a little bit. Again, taking away from that typical heaviness you associate with baked beans. And of course, we have our burnt honey. It thickened up a little bit as it sat. So what I'm gonna do is, just gonna take a ladle and just loosen it up with some of that broth. Now, into our peas. It's because I'm fancy. Made a little bouquet garni. So basically here I have just some sage, some thyme and some rosemary. Tie it up into a little bundle so that it's easy to pick out. Just lay it right in there. I have a oven preheating to 350 degrees. After this comes up to a simmer, I'm gonna pop it in the oven, uncovered, and I'm gonna check it every hour. I'm aiming for about 2-ish hours. All right, I'll see you guys in about an hour. Check number 1, see you there. All right, it's been a little over an hour. I think we should go check on it. Thickening up. Good amount of the liquid has evaporated / thickened. Looks good. I'm gonna give this about another hour. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't dry out too much. Give them little stirs throughout just to make sure it doesn't burn or dry out. Looks pretty good. Just gonna fish out my bouquet. This is why tie everything up together, easy to take out. I like to finish it with just a little lemon. You could do vinegar, any sort of vinegar. I always like to do my acid towards the end. And I feel like lemon works really nicely with the honey. Just give it a little greenery. I have some dill. I love dill, just like it's so fresh. Makes me think of summer. Let's have a little taste. It's like perfectly sweet. The sweetness from the honey adds a really interesting floral note, and there's a smokiness to it because you did burn it. All of those herbs really come through as well. And finishing it with lemon kind of just rounds it all out. So it's bright, it's sweet, it's savory. I hope you try it. Put it on top of a hot dog. Put it alongside your cheeseburgers. I hope you try it. Recipe down below. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. See you later.